technology, EdTech in particular, can be extremely valuable for what we call strengthening weak ties. And this is a term we've learned in sociology research, the strength of weak ties. All of us have close relationships, our dear friends, our family, our spouses, our partners, who we often turn to for support and encouragement. But weak ties are those people you might not see very often, but you may turn to on LinkedIn when you're curious about a professional pathway or looking for a new job. And that is the strength of weak ties. They're plentiful, they're diverse, and they often carry new information. And I wanted to highlight, and perhaps Nancy and Andrew, you can take this one on. Can you share with the group how you amplify the power of weak ties through the use of technology in your work?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I built early teams at Snapchat, and a large chunk of what I've seen, having worked in the edtech space for the last 2.5 years, is how college students, when you say, you've got to go network, or just go reach out to your alumni, like, get on LinkedIn. Well, nobody gave them a tutorial on how to use LinkedIn. They're terrified. Gen Z doesn't get it. And so part of our tech is actually how do we create tech that they're used to? So think TikTok, think YouTube, think Instagram, think Snapchat. How do we build ed tech to be similar to all of the other screens that they're on already? And then building into that through SMS or push notifications. Here are people that you should be connecting with through personalization or recommendation algorithms.
So I think one of the things that folks who visited the Met San Diego earlier today saw is that every single individual student, beginning right in 9th grade, is connected out to an interest-driven internship in the community. And so this idea of leaving to learn, starting with the assumption that maybe not all the best learning happens in the classroom. What about the radical notion that there's real-world learning that happens out there, and that if you're preparing for an uncertain and turbulent world, and you need to be able to thrive as an adult, that could happen situated out in the world, out in a workplace, to understand what you love about it, what you find challenging about it. And so that's what our schools have sought to scale. We think that every young person should have that opportunity. And about 10 years ago, I had been an advisor, an educator in school, had been an internship coordinator, and we were growing a school from about 70 kids up to about 300 kids. And when you have 70 kids, you basically write every kid's name down on a clipboard, and you write every mentor next to them, and you just connect them. Once you get up over about 150, you need technology. This new innovation that was called Microsoft Excel and Google Fusion tables. But then we got to a point where we were starting to work with hundreds and thousands of students, and there just was not the sort of back-end infrastructure to run that. And so I was at the school at the Met Sacramento. One of our alumni is here today, Lexi Ortiz right over there, who now works for us. If you're looking for human capital pipeline, go back through your class lists and you can find people. But at that time, we were working to basically hack together a system. Over the last 5 years, we put together something called Emblaze. Some of our partners are here in the room who helped us with the software engineering and design. Thank you, Susan. And over that time, we've now built out Emblaze so that it's live in 150 locations, 30,000 young people who are engaged on it. We're really rapidly spreading and scaling it. And I think the thing that for us is most important is that what gets measured gets valued. And so when you can actually keep sort of quantifiable information about how many adults young people are connecting to, and I feel like we're plugging LinkedIn all the time, but if you can refer them out to LinkedIn so that when a young person who's interning at an architect's office or at a Head Start or at a biology lab finishes their day and their mentor says like, yep, they were here and this is what they did, and by the way, I'm gonna go like endorse them on LinkedIn. I'm gonna give them some credit. That, I get, I'm here in Nerdville, so I can say, I get a shiver up and down my spine that like, the young person demonstrated a real skill and talent in that workplace, and an actual expert in that field validated that, right? Like that, I think, is what we're after.